wrestling fans. This is Doug Williams, the ambassador of British wrestling. As I sit here in my garden, I contemplate the fact that the idea that I could come over to America and win the Pure Wrestling Championship was cruelly snatched away from me by the coronavirus. However, things are slowly getting back on track. And come later in the year, 2020, Doug Williams will be guaranteed to be back in America and back to win the Pure Wrestling Championship like he did 16 years ago. I look forward to seeing all my fans, reminding them exactly what Doug Williams can do. See you very, very soon. Thank you.
I'm Quinn McKay, and I'm here to update you on everything going on for the week in Ring of Honor. Last week, our episode closed with Vincent, the leader of the Righteous, warning Matt Taven that even at home in quarantine, he isn't safe. Vincent was then somehow able to hijack last week's ROH Strong podcast, which Matt Taven just so happened to be the guest of, so let's take a listen to that clip now.
Let's get a little deeper with the loyalty thing. You brought in myself and TK Orion as the Kingdom, and then it became Matt Taven and the Kingdom. So I had to do something about it, and I did. I got rid of one guy out of the company completely, and now I'm working on the other. You dig what I'm saying? So that Jay Lethal, I wouldn't say Jay Lethal was your last hurdle. You're still stuck in the mud. You're still stuck in the mud that you mentioned earlier. And you said this: sometimes it's my own stupidness not learning from my old mistakes. Well, you're going to learn from this one, and then finally you can go and pick the brain of Jesus like you want to.
Like, who do you think you're talking to? You think you're talking to a guy that doesn't know you? Like, you're thinking you're talking to someone that has no idea who you are for your entire life. I can see right through all this phoniness, all right? I know exactly who you are. You just don't seem to realize that I am everything. I am everything that the Horror Dad is because of me. The fact that you're too jealous to realize to say thank you, all you need to do is say thank you. When I first brought you in, I said I created the Kingdom. I reformed the Kingdom in my own image, okay? Don't ever get it twisted. It was always about me and the Kingdom.
I feel like Kevin X should probably look into his security setup. Regardless, though, even with Vincent threatening his safety, Matt Taven would never dream of robbing you of his enormous talent. And there will be a very special Matt Taven Q&A this Thursday, June 11th at 6 p.m. Eastern. Taven will address Vincent and provide A's for all your Q's, so be sure to tune in for that on Zoom and also streaming live on Facebook. You can ask him anything you want, like about getting his head shaved while he was in Mexico or about his sweet baby angel Gryffindor. Despite the security mishap last week, the latest edition of the ROH Strong podcast was fortunately not hijacked, and the guest was the newly re-signed Flip Gordon. Check that out right now for free at ROHWrestling.com. Flip talks about his ROH career and his battles with people like Hall of Famer Bully Ray. Typically, I'd make a joke about that, but I'm not going to because, quite frankly, Bully Ray terrifies me. Speaking of free things, right now you can watch the latest episode of ROH TV featuring Brodie King on ROHWrestling.com. Brodie lets us know what he's been up to during quarantine. I like to call this specific episode, Brodie King Talks About Meat, but he also highlights some of his favorite ROH matches, so that's pretty cool too. Up next on ROH this weekend, we're going day by day with the last real man of professional wrestling, Silas Young. Check your local listings to catch up with Silas, but it's his partner and protege, Josh Woods, that I'm excited to talk to right now because he's requested some time this week to talk about his mentor's episode of TV. Josh, lay it on me. What's going on?
Yo, Quinn, what's up, girl? Listen, I know it's amazing if Silas gets his own episode, and believe me, I know he deserves it, but something doesn't feel right. You know, Silas, his own episode, it's cool, but I mean, it'd be great if he talked about two guys, one tag. I mean, think about it. I'm the best thing that's ever happened to him. I've never seen him more happy. He's been in a great place. I've changed his whole life for the better, and I think he should definitely talk about us and how much he loves me. I mean, it's me and him. It's him and I. The best thing going right now. I'm pretty sure he'll change his mind. Yes, I hope. And I sure miss him. His own episode. But what would be better is two guys, one tag. Thanks, Quinn.
It's so weird because Josh Woods is simultaneously a precious cinnamon roll and a weapon of mass destruction, and it's hard to hold those two thoughts in your mind at the same time. And now for something not entirely unrelated, I've got a secret for you. Come close. Closer. The next episode in our Day by Day series is dedicated to Bandito, and we're working on another very special episode of television that's going to mean a lot to so many people around the world, and hopefully I'll be able to let you know more about that soon, maybe even next week. But before we get to next week, we've got to talk about Last. Last week was the debut of Dalton's Castle, starring Dalton Castle on our YouTube channel. If you saw the ending, then you know that things seem to be getting a little bit intense. So be sure to check out the next episode premiering tomorrow, June 9th at 12 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook. Let's take a look now to see if Dalton's managed to knit a sweater out of all that cat hair.
My tag team partner, Joe Hendry, lives in Scotland. And the last time I tried to call him, it didn't exactly work out. But Joe told me it was just a misunderstanding. He had completely forgot to tell me he changed his number. And I believe him, because this time, that's not going to be an issue. We're not using phones. We're going to have one of those futuristic video calls. We'll be able to talk face to face. I'm going to look him in the eyes, because that's where tag team magic happens.
Did anyone else catch that Dalton straight up built a table on his front porch so that he could have a high-tech face-to-face phone call with his partner, his tag team partner who lives in Scotland, Joe Hendry, because that is commitment. That is loyalty. He could have had a table on the inside that was already built, but he needed a grand gesture. People don't just, make tables for people. In other news, tomorrow on YouTube, we're uploading another When They Were Prospects match. This time it's Hanson and Ray Rowe squaring off before they were tag team partners. In fact, that match led to their eventual partnership and tag team dominance all over the world. Now, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The ROH YouTube page has been firing on all cylinders, delivering daily top-notch content, and now Honor Club is heating up as we continue Fresh 50 Fridays. Every Friday, 50 past ROH matches will drop on Honor Club for you to view at your leisure in a binge-like fashion. Last week, we saw some awesome matches added, like Kenta versus Roderick Strong, Chris Hero versus Homicide, Nigel McGuinness versus Bryan Danielson, and 47 other amazing matches. Be sure to check out Honor Club this and every Friday when we drop another 50 incredible matches for you to enjoy. You'll remember that last week I was really looking forward to chatting with Session Moth Martina because I love her. However, when we went over to her, she was clearly and noticeably unable to chat. Luckily, we have set up another interview with her this week. This time we screened her in advance and it looks like she's good to go. So let's toss it over to Martina. Hey, what's going on? Let's go to Caprice.
Hey guys, it's Caprice Coleman. I want to let you know from the bottom of my heart that I genuinely miss y'all. I can't wait to get back on the road to be able to interact with a lot of y'all again. I've been home with my family like a lot of you, spending a lot of time with them and also trying to find different ways to stay in shape. I've also been encouraging a lot of people and doing fundraisers for the less fortunate. One thing I like to encourage people to do is reaching out to other people that you haven't heard from in a while, just checking on them, making sure they're okay. Also making peace with that family member that you might not have been getting along with in the past, but would hate for something to happen to them. Also empathizing with people that might be going through a situation that you would not want to go through yourself. I've also been chomping at the bits, waiting for Ring of Honor to start back up so I can get back to calling some of the best action on the planet. Until then, it's Caprice Coleman, and I, hopefully, will see y'all later. Chip!
I know Caprice is ready to get back in the booth with Ian, just like everyone in ROH is looking forward to getting back in the ring. Another thing to keep an eye on is the collection of talented athletes set to make their ROH debut once our live events resume. You know someone I'm really excited to finally debut in Ring of Honor? This one.
Have you ever been in a fight? Have you? Do you know that feeling you get? The adrenaline pulsing through your veins? Standing across from someone that you know will do whatever it takes to beat you, embarrass you, and belittle you. Now imagine them doing that in front of 1,000 people. Do Do you know what you are capable of in that moment? How am I meant to stay in control? I check my pulse so I don't lose my. I check my pulse, not just for my safety, but for theirs.
Take it from me, Kellyanne is definitely one to watch, and not just in the ring. You can also check out her live streams of World of Warcraft on Twitch every weekend. You can even join the live chat with her and talk about your common interests, which I'm assuming are probably wrestling and video games. Speaking of games, ROH Roleplay of Honor debuted over the weekend, and even though I wasn't asked to be on it, you can catch Session Moth Martina, the Bouncers, Joe Hendry, and Cheeseburger playing Dungeons & Dragons and mostly bards right now on our YouTube page. So let's take a quick look.
Well, it's me, Maynard the Malt Maker, and I'm a Mountain Dwarf Cleric. I'm wearing some scale mail armor. I got a shield. I do have 2 weapons on me, but the holy symbol is prominent on my shield.
I'm a Goliath. I'm the biggest of the group.
I am Santi of the Far Desert, the half-orc bard, and I have this long blonde wig to help me have more success in my music career.
Well, I am Mega, and actually, I'm afraid that my colleague is suffering from a little bit of delusion, because it is in fact I that am the successful bard. I choose to include Santi wherever possible.
I'm actually Thea, and I am a half-elf wizard that, runs on the wrong side of the streets now and then.
If it is the last thing I do, I will 100% be involved in the next installment of Roleplay of Honor. And if production could do me a solid and put really threatening music under what I'm saying right now, that would be super excellent. Thank you in advance. You can expect more specials and games with ROH stars in the future. Plus, when you follow our social media, you'll continue to get great content, like Amy Rose, one of my favorites, taking us on a tour of her closet. She shows us her favorite ROH wardrobe pieces and also talks about the memories that come with them. There's a lot there. You can also check out Last Stop Penn Station with Carrie Silken and Ian Riccaboni as well. Last week's episode was dedicated to G1 Supercard and Carrie's life and times around Madison Square Garden. Happy Hour with the Bouncers is always a good time, and recently they've had guests like Delirious and Danhausen, who, how can I say this, don't make any sense whenever you're sober, so I can't imagine that conversation gets easier when you're as drunk as the Bouncers are. Speaking of Danhausen though, I do want to thank you for purchasing so many Danhausen t-shirts, because so far my job is secure, and honestly, it's really all thanks to you. Also, if you haven't seen them yet, the recent PJ Black videos are ridiculous, like just absurd. So let's take a small look into the life of the Darewolf.
What's up everybody, my name is PJ Black, aka the Darewolf. Born and raised in Africa, but currently I work for one of the greatest companies in the world, Ring of Honor. I do love sports, I do love all kinds of sports, but I do love extreme sports the most. I started riding motocross when I was 9 years old. Started surfing when I was 12. When I moved to the United States, I moved to Florida and I couldn't surf anymore, so that's when I took up skydiving, and ever since that has consumed my life. In skydiving, you have a parachute and you jump out of a plane, and you have a backup parachute, so you have 2 parachutes on your back. In case the one fails, you can always just cut that away and then pull the reserve. And we usually jump from about 13,000 feet.
Last week, we noticed a huge personality change in PJ Black's protege, Bryan Johnson. Overall, it's been an improvement. PJ's done what could potentially be considered a miraculous job with Bryan's attitude, regardless of the outside substances he may or may not have used to do that. There's no possible way that could go wrong, I'm sure. Anyway, as you saw, PJ has no problem staying in shape with his extreme lifestyle. And while we're on the subject of staying in shape, I present to you my favorite segment, ROH Week by Week Physique.
It's the ROH Week by Week Physique. will landing idol to my own ring road. Red Titus when I pull down on the desert.
Cheeseburger's living up to his namesake over there and looking all USDA certified lean. Lots
Hey, Danhausen.
lots of passion, and lots of hard work. And that's what Ring of Honor is all about.
Hey, Danhausen.
Appreciate the continued support from all of you. And
Hey, Danhausen, buy my shirt.
Truly, truly grateful. That's all for this week. You can follow me on Twitter at Quinn McKay and on Instagram at Real Quinn McKay. You can follow Ring of Honor on social media across the board at Ring of Honor, and now newly to TikTok. Remember to stay safe, friends, and I'll see you next week on Week by Week.
I know it's been a while. It can be easy to forget, but Marty, I haven't forgotten about that cute little challenge that you laid down to me back in January. Marty, I haven't forgotten about you. We're getting there. Time's ticking down. Whoop whoop.